Hello everyone, welcome to this special session. Love is in the air. Everywhere you can see hearts and heart tangles and hearty tangles, right? So I thought why not do one or two special sessions on dedicated to probably the Valentine's Day, although every day is made for love, but why not try something different, right? So I had made this style and with a little bit of craft work here, and it says love you and some tangles and zentangling around, right? It's a simple uh, card, you can say, or tile, whatever you want to call it, right? So we will do a similar thing today, right? I have two zendalas in front of me. They are white zendalas, right? So what I'm going to do first is uh, just mark four corners. I'm sorry, just draw a cross. So for that I'm going to mark 4 points here. So this one, here and here, right? So I'm going to use a ruler now. You can freehand join the lines, that's okay. And like this, right? And then I'm not touching this tile right now, just keeping it aside. I'm going to be drawing a tangle called cross your heart, right? So what I'm going to do is join these two by these heart shapes like this, right? And do the same all around. So again, heart shape, again heart shape, and again one more heart shape. Yeah, can correct it, that's okay. More or less similar in size. Yeah, and then what I'm going to do is probably cut it out first. Yeah, I have this cutting tool with me and I'm going to cut this out, right? But I think we should first tangle, right? And then we can see about the cutting part. So I'm first going to add a seed shape in between like this. Yeah, and you can add orbs inside or you can leave it as such, entirely up to you. So we have started tangling here first, and then we will go ahead and give it a little crafty look, but I'll try and keep it simple only. Yeah, so adding these orbs to all the four rice shapes. Like this. Do fill in the small little spaces in between. You can do that as you draw, or you can come back to it later, that's okay. And the last section. So the job of this markers is done, so I'm going to remove it now, right? And just add these orbs. Yeah. The next step is to just add auras on both sides of the orb, right? So I'm just going to start like this. Give a slight curve. Adding a little weight at the beginning, at the end will be a good idea. Yeah, so plain auras, nothing else. Just take a cue from the pencil line that you have drawn. Add a little weight at the beginning and at the end, and adding a slight curve to the lines. And just simply adding auras inside the heart shape. Right? Simple exercise. Again going to rotate and do the same for the other one. So press your pen a little harder as you start the line and as you end it. It will add to the look of your tangle. Yeah. Purely aura based and beautiful tangle to draw and apt for the occasion. Right? So I'm going to show you one more. So whichever way you are comfortable in drawing, just draw your auras in that fashion. Hold your tile that way. I'm going from down to up. You can come up to down. Keep the auras close. Yeah. So I'll do the same for the other two. Yeah. So I'm almost finishing now on the last section. Adding auras in the same way that I mentioned. Adding a little pressure at the beginning of the line and at the end, and adding a slight curve to the lines, especially at the ends. These are not straight lines and they are particularly having a curve at the end. So Cross Your Heart is a tangle by Zena Black, and it is a beautiful tangle, right? So pure auras, and you can see how beautiful the look is, right? Now to the rest of the tile, I'm going to be adding some colors. So I'm going to be playing with some colors. I have some 4 close shades here, right? These are watercolor pencils and I use Staedtler. So I'm just going to start with some border, a darker pencil for the border. So you can use any watercolor pencil that you like, that suits you. I like the texture of these pencils. They are very waxy and nice to blend. So I use it often whenever I have to use colors. So just adding a border to my, so the first layer is done. I'm now going to add some purplish shade. So you can use round strokes, you can use straight strokes, you can use zigzag strokes, any which ways you are comfortable. So much easier if your one hand is under the tile. Right, so soft purple color looks really nice. And red is the color of the day, so some red. So I'm first going to finish the tangling part and then we will do the craft work. Yeah. Not much of craft work here, a little. So that was red. And finally one more color close to red. A little different shade. Right, so done with that work. So I'm now going to pick up my brush. You can also use your brush pen, whatever you are comfortable with, and just blend carefully. Just blend the color to get a nice background. Yeah. So just take it easy and carefully blend the colors. So you get a nice mix of colors because you have put 2-3 shades. Yeah, that's about it. I'm going to let it dry now for 2 minutes, or you can use your hair dryer or any dryer for drying it fast. So now that our tile has dried up, I am now going to be using my burgundy pen and tangle around my center tangle. Yeah. So I will just add some fescues and then we will build on it. Just randomly adding fescues. You can also use your black pen if you want. I want the background to be little subtle compared to my heart. Yeah. So just adding these fescues, and then just the way we do in embedded lettering, I'm going to add auras and orbs, right? So starting here, closely aura the fescues, be patient, go slow, stay close to the borders and to the fescue. Right? I think I've done this process many a times in my videos, and by now you would be familiar with it. So I'm doing nothing, just auraing the fescues and staying close to it, right? Again, you can add some weight wherever you want to. Right, so wherever there are turnings, I am adding some weight. Okay, right? So now you can add some orbs also here and there, wherever you feel like. 1, 2. So since our tile has changed its color, we can play with the orbs. We can add some whites to the orbs and it will stand out, right? So here the jelly roll comes to play. So you can keep it handy if you want, right? So I have added some orbs. Now I am going to add a second layer. Again, go as close as possible. You can also use your brown pen, but at times on watercolor the pen tends to get spoiled, so may not work. So that's why I'm using my pen here, and I like this color. So go slow and add auras the way I am going on. Closely, right? So we have added 2 layers. Now let us move to the third. Small little spaces you can fill in, add few more orbs. You can also add some other pattern if you like, something like poke roots, or you can continue to stick to orbs. So this is the second layer. Add weight here and there. Again, add those orbs wherever you can. Yeah. So again, I'm going to add a third layer of aura in the same way. Yeah. So now that we have drawn 3 layers, I'm now going to fill the rest of the tile with the pattern called sand swirl, which is very similar to what we have drawn. It starts with fescue. However, I'm going to aura this fescue repeatedly, like this. Right? So I'm going to just keep adding auras to it, as many as you want, like this. Yeah. Again, you can have a hidden one here. Again, second aura, simple aura based angle, draw fescue and then just aura it, aura as many as you want. Yeah. Again, drawing one more like this. So I'm adding about 6 of them. You can add any number. Probably one hidden one here. Like this. Yeah. So I'll continue like this. I think you got a hold of the pattern. Just draw fescue and aura it. I've used it couple of times earlier also. But if you are not regular on my channel, then I'm showing it to you again. Draw fescue and then just aura it, as many as you want. Yeah. Finishing drawing my sand swirls here, going in the same fashion. drawing fescues in just about any direction, adding about 6 auras to each just to ensure some kind of a uniformity. Right, so I think that's enough as far as sand swirls are concerned. Yeah, so I'm now going to pick up my jelly roll. So 08, let us see if it works on my color. So I'm just going to add small, yeah, this looks fine. So just going to fill up the small little spaces left with my jelly roll. You can also add touches of white inside these orbs at the same time. Yeah, so I'll just add that, slowly add the jelly roll inside your orbs and to fill up the small little spaces which are left. Because we have a watercolor background, so at times the pens can misbehave a little, so that's why we have to try out new pens. Yeah, so I'm going to do this exercise and get back. What I am doing is just adding small orbs in the spaces which are left out in between the sand swirls and adding some ink to these orbs. Right? So we are almost done with that exercise. Right? So we will shade a little later. Let us first do the cutting part. Yeah. So give it 2 minutes to dry up. And what I am going to do is cut out these hearts, leaving a little gap here, right? So they open like a flap, right? I hope you get the picture. So I'm going to cut it out from here, come down till the end. Yeah, and then cut it out from here, come down till the end. Yeah. Yeah, and now going to leave a little gap here and cut out the rest. So I'll show you one and you can do the rest the same way. It's just about cutting, nothing great here. Right, so I'm just going to cut it out from here. So use your crafting skills. Yeah. Yeah. Just cut it out and leave little gap from where it will be stuck to the tile. Like this. I think we can cut out a little more. Yeah, that's enough. So I'll do exactly the same for the others. So make sure you don't cut out your tangle. Yeah, so keep it to the borders. Yeah, that's it, right? So let me just pull it out. So I have done that exercise. That's about the crafting part, right? So I'm going to do one extra thing here. I'm going to paint the inside red, right? So inside about this portion, I'm going to use my red brush pen and just paint it as somewhat rust. I think it is not exactly red. Right, so you did not paint the entire thing because we are going to stick this tile over the second. So I'm just painting as much portion as will be visible. So let us check. Now we need to go a little further here. Yeah, I think we don't need to do any more. Yeah, that's enough, right? So I'll just even it out a bit. You can also even out with your brush, use some water and just even it out. Right, so since it is almost coming in the center, so I'm going to write something over it. So give it 2 minutes to dry up. Now that it has dried up, I am going to write something with my gold watercolor. You can use any other pen. You get Perma Pack Sakura pens, gold in color, right? So I'm using what is readily available here with me. You can also use acrylic, whatever is available. Yeah, so I'll just write simply love you. So again, to reiterate, you can do a better job as far as this area is concerned. Yeah, so try your calligraphy skills and use it here. Right, so I'm just going to keep it like that. And if you want something to show inside also, so you can add a little things inside also, something like poke roots from the corners, right, visible a little bit. So It is up to you which pen you want to use. It would be a good idea to use a white or a gray, or you can use your black. So I'm just going to add some poke roots here so that when I open up, I see something. Right, just surround the circle that I have colored with some poke roots. Right, we are done with that. The next thing I'm going to do is add some dots to my poke root. Yeah, so I'm just going to just clear your nib and add some nice dots to one side of your poke root with your jelly roll. Again, you can do that with your Posca also. So if you have the Posca, then you can do that. Posca is a paint marker, right? Jelly roll, unlike, is not a paint marker. So just a touch of white on one side. You can see the Posca is going lighter on the color, yeah, and the jelly roll is showing more. So that's the experiment part of pens. Yeah, you can go on and on. Right, so once we are done with that, the next step is to add some glue and paste it. Right, so make sure your color has dried up. I think it has not. So the color is now dry, and now I'm going to add some glue at the edges of this tile. And cross my heart over it. Yeah, I think that's good. Right, so once we are done with that, let us now come to shading. Yeah, so I'm going to pick up my pencil and my blending stump and just shade and add some highlights probably at a few places. Yeah, so sand swirls to be shaded at these intersections wherever lines are intersecting. It's a good idea to add some graphite. So slowly add some graphite at these places where lines are intersecting. Right, so just take your time. I'm also outlining this aura that I have given to my cross your heart. So take your time and carefully add graphite to all the intersections. Yeah. Don't forget to add graphite on your cross your heart, right? So add shading to your cross your heart. You can also add some gold in the in between. It will look nice. Let us see if we want to do that. Yeah. So let us start to blend. Such a simple tangle, and you can see how beautiful it looks on shading, and purely aura based tangle by Jenna Black. Yeah, so we have shaded our across your heart, and now moving on to gentle blending of our sand swirls and the border that we have given. So gently blend the graphite. Don't blend too much. Right, so shading always adds, although we think at times that wow, what a beautiful color and everything is perfect, there is no need to shade, but shading always adds. There is no doubt about it. Yes, you can vary the amount of shading that you want to add. So need not be heavy shading, but yes, touches here and there gives that depth to your tangles. They pop up, they start to breathe. Right? So we have done that. Now let us add some chalk pencil. So chalk pencil here on your cross your heart where you have not added graphite, just highlight that space. And then some touches on your sand swirls is always a good idea. Some highlights where there is no gray. Yeah. You can see how beautifully the chalk adds to your tangles. As soon as the color of the tile changes, the chalk pencil becomes a very essential tool. even for white surfaces, but a lot on more neutral surfaces. Yeah, so see that suddenly start to show, and the much needed highlight is very categorically visible, right? So just use a different blending stump and soften it, even it out, blend it a little. Yeah, few more places probably here. Yeah, that's about it. If you want, you can touch gold on the center part, right? So I'm going to use probably my jelly roll gold for this. You can also use that watercolor. I'm just touching gold, not covering the entire orb also. Just touching on the white section. You can cover the entire thing if you want. So as you can see, you can go on and on and on, and there is no end to how much you can add to your tile. Yeah, so it happens often with me, and I have to finally decide to stop somewhere. So I think this is where I'm going to stop, and this is our card for today. A nice piece of Zentangle work. Love you. Yeah, I smudged the U a little, I think, so no problem. I'll just add some. Yeah, so that's our Valentine special. Yeah, hope you like it, and I'll see you again with another Zentangle original. Till then, have a good time. Bye bye.